Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Learn With Me. I'm Deborah Hanson, and today we're going to be looking at Unit 3, Development and Learning. We're going to be specifically looking at Section 3.4, Cognitive Development Across the Lifespan. So if you're liking these videos, please hit that subscribe button. I continue to make the new videos to go with the new curriculum. Hopefully you're finding them helpful, as well as the key term videos. And I'm also starting some other content on the channel. So hopefully if you're taking any other APs, I'll be covering those as well. So let's get started. Okay, so we always look at the key terms because it's important for us to know the key terms. I'll make a separate video, definitions and examples, so you can do your flashcards. You can put the key terms in your notebook, however you decide to study. It's super important to know these key terms. And always we must look at the CED question because that's where the College Board's taking this information to make the exam. So we need to be able to answer these questions. So the CED question for 3.4 is explain how theories of cognitive development apply to behavior and mental processes. Okay, what does that mean and what does that look like? Okay, we're going to start with Piaget's theory of cognitive development. Just what is that? So Piaget believed that children go through stages of cognitive development and they build schemas to understand the world as they go through these stages. So two words that we need to understand for this concept is assimilation, which just means adding new information to our existing schema, or accommodation, which is changing schemas to fit new information. So let's have a look at Piaget's stages of development. Let's start with sensorimotor stage. That's infancy to toddlerhood, which is 0 to 2 years. The key development in this stage is object permanence, and that's understanding that objects exist even when you're not seen. The second stage is pre-operational stage. This is toddlerhood to early childhood, which is years 2 to 7. In this stage, children will struggle with conservation, which is basically understanding that quantity doesn't change with shape, and reversibility, the ability to mentally reverse actions. Children will also use mental symbols and engage in pretend play. And at this stage, they also exhibit egocentrism, which means that it's difficult for them to see anything from another person's perspective. They're quite egocentric. They are really, it's all about them. And animism, which is the belief that inanimate objects have feelings. Okay, so they're teddy bear, that kind of idea. Okay. Concrete operational stage is the third one, and that's early to late childhood, which is about ages 7 to 11 years. And during this stage, they can correct earlier errors like conservation and reversibility. They think more logically and realistically, but they still struggle with abstract thinking. And the last stage that he proposed was formal operational stage, and that's late childhood, so about 12 years to adulthood. And here they develop ability to think abstractly and reason hypothetically, but not all individuals will reach this stage. Okay, so that was put out by Piaget. What I did here is I just made a little chart for you guys. So that if you want to put this in your notebook, this kind of helps you to break down the 4 stages, the age range, and then just some key features that go along with each of these stages. And if you want the full slideshow that goes with these videos, you can just find the link below. It has a lot more detail on each slide, but for the videos, it's just a little bit of overload. So I always do them separately. Okay. Now let's go to the next slide. We're going to talk about, what are we talking about? Oh, Vygotsky's social culture theory of cognitive development. So what's the main point? Vygotsky emphasized that children are social learners who develop through interactions with others in their cultural context. So he talked about the zone of proximal development with a ZPD. Learning occurs best when a child is supported just beyond their current abilities through scaffolding by more knowledgeable others, for example, parents or teachers or caregivers. Okay, that was the zone of proximity. Cognitive development in adulthood. We're going to talk about this. We talk about 2 things. We talk about crystallized intelligence and fluid intelligence. So crystallized intelligence refers to the accumulated knowledge and skills. For example, all the vocabulary you have in your brain, your general knowledge, everything, that is that accumulated knowledge. That's your crystallized intelligence. It remains stable or it improves throughout your adulthood as you increase, right? But even just listening to this video where you're hearing all these new words, these new vocabulary, these new key terms, you are accumulating new knowledge. And it involves, okay, and then we have fluid intelligence. This involves problem solving and thinking quickly and flexibly. So this declines with age and especially in later adulthood. So your fluid intelligence will decline. You don't have that quick mental, thinking. You're not your brain is not as flexible to kind of to problem solve or to think outside the box like we used to. So that does decline. Okay, we're going to talk about some cognitive disorders in adulthood. So, we're talking about two in particular: dementia, which is a cognitive disorder characterized by decline in memory, reasoning, and other cognitive functions, and Alzheimer's disease, which is a common form of dementia. What is the impact of these? These disorders affect mental processes like decision making, memory, and problem solving in later life. So, little key takeaways we want to remember about. We want to talk about Piaget. So, you want to be able to be able to talk about the different stages that he talked about. That cognitive development occurs in stages with children building and modifying their schemas along the way. We want to know about Vygotsky. We want learning is social and best supported by scaffolding within the zone of proximal development. And we just want to talk about adulthood and how the impacts are there. Our cognitive abilities change over time, with crystallized intelligence remaining stable and fluid intelligence declining. And that is the end of 3.4. That's all the essential knowledge you need to know according to the CED question and the CED put out by the College Board. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, hit that subscribe button and like button for me. I really appreciate it. I will keep going, and I will now do the key terms video for this section. I hope you found it helpful. Thanks again. Have a great day. See you next time.